In the most brutal prison conditions imaginable, the strongest men were often the first to break. The prisoners who constantly reassured themselves they would be home by a specific date, like Christmas, watched the holidays arrive and pass from inside their cells. They died of broken hearts. And the man who outlasted 7.5 years of that exact nightmare survived on a colder, harder belief. His name was James Stockdale. How can hope act as a lethal force, while a brutal truth becomes the law of human endurance? On September 9, 1965, Stockdale was flying an A-4 over North Vietnam when his plane took a hit. He ejected, dropping toward a village where a hostile mob was already waiting for him. In the few seconds he had before capture, he said something to himself. He acknowledged that he was leaving the world of technology and entering the world of Epictetus, a first-century Greek slave who lived with a crippled leg. Quoting an ancient philosopher while plunging into the worst years of your life might sound poetic, but Stockdale was reaching for the only tool he actually trusted to work. You are in a prisoner of war camp, but you have a version of those walls. Every time a personal deadline passes and the goal remains out of reach, it takes a piece of your belief with it, building a cycle of broken self-trust. Epictetus taught a rule so simple it almost sounds offensive, a strict division separating what is up to us and what is completely outside of our control. Inside the Hanoi Hilton, almost nothing was up to Stockdale. He didn't control the food, the interrogations, or the years spent in that room. If his strength relied on managing his physical circumstances, that environment would have emptied him out in a week. So he weaponized the only territory the enemy couldn't touch, his own judgment. He organized his fellow prisoners using a covert tap code through the stone walls. Men sitting alone in the dark built an invisible city, spelling out names and scripture one knuckle rap at a time. It was a choice to act within their isolation. That tap code was never going to open the cell door. The goal was to decide who those men would still be when the gate finally opened. Years later, writer Jim Collins asked Stockdale directly who didn't make it out. Stockdale didn't hesitate. He said it was the Optimists. The men pinned their survival to Christmas. Christmas passed. Then they moved the target to Easter, then Thanksgiving, breaking their spirit with every missed deadline. They placed a bet on a calendar, staking their survival on an outcome they never controlled. Those men didn't lack courage. They just aimed it at the wrong target. By tying their psychological survival to an external schedule, they handed their peace to an enemy that gladly spent it. The mental model for enduring this requires a specific posture, split into 2 pillars. First, maintaining unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end. The second pillar requires possessing the brutal discipline to look at the ugliest facts of your current reality without flinching. You keep faith in the ending, and you practice absolute honesty about the middle. You never, under any circumstance, trade one for the other. Modern clinical psychology arrived at this exact same mechanism. When Albert Ellis and Aaron Beck built cognitive behavioral therapy, they openly read and relied on the Stoics. Suffering comes from the story you wrap around an event, rather than the event itself. You choose the meaning. Clinical studies consistently show a clear pattern. Individuals who fixate on factors they cannot control suffer higher rates of anxiety, while those who focus intensely on actionable items build steady resilience. It operates like a mechanical drill. You must actively split your worries into what is up to me and what is not up to me. Every ounce of energy spent on the wrong side is a leak draining your mental strength. Positive thinking asks you to argue with reality. The dichotomy of control asks you to divide it. Take a look at your own life and identify your personal out-by-Christmas trap. Find the external outcome you keep waiting for, instead of taking localized action right now. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote down a single instruction for himself. Confine yourself to the present. You have to abandon your future wishes to execute the one action sitting right in front of you. Face the brutal facts of today, hold the unbroken faith for tomorrow, and move the one piece of your reality you can actually control.